A greenhouse is probably every gardener's biggest dream purchase. It certainly was for me a few years back when this greenhouse went in, but of course when a greenhouse goes in, there's nothing inside of it. I'm Kevin Espiritu, the founder of Epic Gardening, and some of the things I put in my greenhouse are this beautifully long potting bench, 2-tier, so I can store stuff below, I can start seeds up above, some shelving units, a fan, lights for a little late night planting session. So we're taking some of those lessons, and with the help of Home Depot, the team's out in Maine right now at one of our team members' properties who already had a beautiful greenhouse. It just needed a couple touches to really bring it to life. Rain capture, some lighting, and a couple seed starting tips that'll really help you out. This is From Scratch.
Today's a big project day. We're going to do a major upgrade on the greenhouse by adding a front patio, laying pavers on the inside for a clean pathway, putting in new garden beds, a seed starting station, and a rain capture system so we don't have to worry about water. And down in the main garden area, we will be setting up a simple irrigation system and getting some more work done on the outdoor kitchen. So great, this is the greenhouse that's already here, but we'd love to dress it up a bit, especially in the entranceway. I want this to kind of be more of an inviting space. Any ideas on how to do that?
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity to incorporate some pavers and possibly even some gravel. Coming from the garden, walking right up to the greenhouse, it'd be a nice transition on your feet.
Yeah, it'll be like a little patio that'll frame this area up and really invite people in. Well, I'll let you riff on this and I'll come back and maybe we could work on some of those.
All right, hey brother, have fun.
Good luck.
All right. All right, so what we're doing right now is basically just figuring out how many pavers that we're gonna place out here, and we want the spacing to look intentional. We want to make a patio using 16 by 16 pavers to create an inviting entrance to the greenhouse. The first step is clearing the space and defining it using metal edging, which was cut to size and anchored into the ground with the included metal stakes. Now that the edging is lined up with the greenhouse, we can backfill with soil and then tamp it down to make sure we have a level starting point.
So we're gonna be setting out this area outside of the greenhouse and then working on the inside. Little by little, we'll get there.
After we have the footprint of the patio set, we do a quick dry fit with pavers to make sure everything fits nicely before we lay in gravel.
I just installed the very simple drip irrigation system, so let me walk you through it. The first step is that I'm starting off with this 1/2-inch poly line. That is what I'm going to be calling the header because that is bringing in all the water to the top of our bed. Once I cut it to length, I put an end cap on it, and from there I elbow off the corner of the bed, do another corner where I have a different connector to hook directly into your hose. Once this is all laid in, I went ahead and punched the holes for the 1/4-inch barbs, because in this case, I'm using 1/4-inch drip lines. Now, I do want to mention that with drip irrigation, you could go 1/2-inch drip or 1/4-inch drip. It's really up to you. The only downside to using this 1/4-inch drip line is that you really are maxed out at about 10 feet before the water pressure becomes a problem. So with this kind of setup, I have a 3-foot bed, 4 drip lines, and that should give me adequate water throughout this entire area. And if you want to expand your irrigation system to a separate bed, at the bottom there, instead of putting a corner, you could just put a T and pull a separate 1/2-inch line to the next bed. So this is what I do in San Diego because it is very dry and we don't have any rain, and it's worked out wonderfully for all of my raised beds. Oh. Did you get it?
We rented a compactor for this project because we knew we wouldn't be able to get the level of uniformity that we were looking for with a hand tamper alone. Luckily, Pete was able to bring over a mixture of 3/4-inch pea gravel that we already had on site. This is going to be the base of the patio. The smaller pea gravel will help fill in the bigger spaces around the 3/4-inch gravel for a solid base while still having good drainage. Which do you want? Do you want to start hand tamping a little bit? And
I'll hand tamp a little bit.
Oh, you're gonna let me go get it. You knew I was going with it. Because, man, I would have sure been like, oh, brother, yeah, please, by all means, go get the compactor. After the initial hand tamp, we're using a rental compactor to create a solid, stable, and level base for the pavers. Once the gravel is compacted, we bring the pavers that were dry fitted back in. lay them out evenly, and add 3/4 inch gravel on top just to set them in place. Then we just hose it all down to give it a nice, clean, finished look.
Meanwhile, Z and Chia-Ming are navigating balancing design and function in the outdoor kitchen.
Easy. This is great.
This is a good example of trying to work within the confines of the materials we have. So one of the problems I'm running into is the transition. Yeah, the whole face that you'll see here will all be cedar that kind of comes up to the edge of the backsplash. But because it's going to only come up to the tile here, there will either be a step down around the post, or what I'm considering now is maybe
Just
doing,
the whole post.
yeah, just wrapping the whole post with the cedar. I think it could look cool.
Yeah, because you couldn't wrap this part too. Like, because your legs go there.
I guess I wasn't thinking too much about the legs.
That's a good
Could be
idea.
built out a little bit.
What if you just had like a little?
Step.
Yeah, just like that.
So run a horizontal panel, and just have it set in.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, now we get to the fun job. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna load up some pea gravel so that we can get a nice 2 to 3 inch layer thick down in the base of that greenhouse. So time to get the shovel in.
Let's go.
The interior of the greenhouse was just a dirt floor, so we're adding in a gravel base to get ready for a simple pathway of pavers and 3/4 inch gravel. Overall, this is going to give us the aesthetics we desire while also getting a functional upgrade. All right, so we got our pea gravel base in, and this is great because the reason why you want to use pea gravel in this type of situation, one, we're going to compact everything down, but then this is also going to control humidity inside the greenhouse. Plus, during the winter months, this is going to help lock in that heat once that sun kind of radiates off of this space. Once the pea gravel is in place, I'm going to run over it a couple more times with the rental compactor to solidify and level the whole space. Next, we're dry fitting the pavers and raised beds to make sure that the layout works for the space. Once the layout is set, we move forward with filling our raised beds. To save on soil, we're using a chunky wood mulch at the bottom for topping off the beds with a mixture of compost and topsoil. And to finish it off, we're filling in all the spaces between the paver with the same 3/4 inch gravel to lock everything in place and give it a cohesive look from the patio, out front, all the way throughout the greenhouse.
You all done? Yeah, I think we can put this one to bed. Pun totally intended.
The guys loaded me up. I'm taking the compactor back. Let's go, Paul. Get it. Get her done. We have almost our entire list, but we can't find the string lights. Paul has queued up
Yeah. So I've
the
got
Home Depot app.
So check on the Home Depot app. Pull it up. We see 5 in stock at our local Home Depot. We'll go ahead and click on that. Scroll down just a tad, and we've got aisle 48 and bay 11. So
All
we're gonna
right,
go
so
find
we
that.
need to go that
Yep.
way. We're going. We're like 13.
We've got some right here. Got the last one for us. We've got.
Nice. What would we have done without you? Look at this. We did it. High five. Woo. Let's check this out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Look at this. It's so much bigger.
Feels a lot bigger. Honestly, I did not expect it to really open up like this, and the pathway and all the gravel just really brightens it up.
I can just see a potting bench that we could use and maybe a seed starting
Okay, I
setup.
like that. So on that side, you could get nice and dirty, get everything potted up. And then right here, this is the south-facing wall, so all the seedlings will get plenty of light.
And then we have some light.
Yeah, I love having lights in the greenhouse. It's a really cozy vibe.
So we'll do some outside, some inside, and I think you also have another special plan for the outside.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got some rain gutters and a rain barrel, so we're gonna have some fresh water up here.
Now that we have a clean slate in the greenhouse, I'm excited to add in a potting bench and seed starting trays to really make this a functional space to start growing food. And a simple steel wire shelving unit will serve as our seedling shelf so that we could make use of vertical space. This lets us grow multiple seedlings in a small square foot area. Just make sure you place it on the south facing wall so it could capture as much sun as possible.
Now there are actually a lot of different benefits to rain capture and also just gutters in general. So something like this is great for a shed, a greenhouse, or any building you have outside. But the best part for gardening is actually to capture it in a rain barrel. Rainwater is much better than most municipal water. It doesn't have any chlorine, plants tend to grow better, and it also is free. And as an added bonus up here, it's going to be much easier to bring water into the greenhouse when we can just capture it from the sky. Now we have the final section of the gutter on, leading to the downspout connection. Now this is a little bit of a unique build here because this fascia board is angled in. So the way I found to get around that is I got one of the downspout adapters. I'm gonna go ahead and put that right on. And then we're going to just elbow that straight into the barrel. Now what this is going to do is when it rains, all the water is going to run down this gutter, shoot through here, and hit this filter top. That'll stop mosquitoes from getting in, keep leaves out. But the beautiful thing is now we are going to have plenty of rainwater capture. With this little spigot here, you could fill a watering can and water all your plants in the greenhouse. And this is great, especially if your shed or greenhouse or wherever you have your plants is a little bit too far away from your faucet. This is going to make your plants grow much better because they absolutely thrive on rainwater. So now that this whole thing is put together, let's go inside the greenhouse and check in with Chia-Ming. All right, got the gutters on. Oh wow, you've been busy in here too.
Just a little. So we are all set up for seed starting. All the different tray sizes. There's a box of seeds.
So now we're gonna get these seedlings planted in the greenhouse, and we have a decent amount to choose from. So what we're going to do here is go with mostly things like, I think they're cabbages, broccolis, kale, and we'll get one side of the bed filled out. And then over here, I actually do want to throw some carrots in the bed. The most important thing is to make sure that the soil is nice and well watered. If carrots dry out for even a single moment in the 10 to 14 day period it takes for them to germinate, they're basically not going to happen. So all I'm going to do is take my tool here and I'm going to pull a line or a furrow down my raised bed soil, and that's going to be where I sprinkle in those carrots.
And that way the roots don't get tangled and then you have a better looking carrot.
Yeah, if you've ever pulled a carrot and it's like this big, it's probably because you had them a little bit too close to each other. So once the carrots are in the ground like that, all you want to do is just gently tuck them in. We're not trying to bury them too deeply because the seeds are quite small. So the smaller the seed is, the more shallow you want to plant it.
And carrots need it to be completely dark, right?
Yes.
Isn't that the trick to it?
The most important thing, as I mentioned earlier, is to make sure this never dries out. Now in a greenhouse, it's less likely to dry out as early, but just make sure you keep this whole bed well watered.
One of the simplest and most important steps in planting is labeling your seeds and seedlings. If they're going outside, use weatherproof labels and always check for pests or disease before planting to prevent spreading issues.
So we're gonna get the rest of these beds planted and then have a special little nighttime glow up, which is adding all these lights.
One of my favorite things to add to a greenhouse is lighting. It instantly personalizes the space and adds function by extending the hours you can work. Here, we're installing solar string lights, fastening them directly to the wood frame through the built-in loops.
Well, from where we started, especially to where we're at now, these lights have really tied it together. It feels way more cozy in here.
Now that's a glow.
For real. And not only a glow up, but a functional upgrade to the greenhouse. We've got the seedling bench, the potting bench. This is actually a productive space that you could really grow some serious food in.
You can hang out anytime.
That's the other thing, especially in the rain, a cozy greenhouse with the lights on, nothing beats it, especially with a cup of coffee. And we're gonna need a lot of coffee tomorrow because we're building that pergola. We're gonna need some rest, but feel really happy with how this all came together.
Here are some of the tips, tricks, and takeaways we picked up on this project. For a clean and polished upgrade to your greenhouse, try adding in a patio or gravel floor. Whenever organizing tools, try to keep them at eye level so that they're easy to spot and you know when to go looking for them if they're missing. And don't forget that lighting goes a long way. Try adding solar streak lights or string lights if you don't have an electricity source in your greenhouse for easy automatic lighting. Today's tool of the day is the rental compactor. This vibratory plate compactor helped us achieve a level and stable surface for our greenhouse patio and interior, which is going to make our efforts here last.
Yeah, there
Okay.
it is. I see it.
Now move.
All right.
Check
Oh,
that baby
yes,
out,
that is
right?
high speed, low drag there. I like that.
With this greenhouse, the structure was solid, it just needed a little refining. With the new gravel and paver patio and pathways, new beds, and a fully outfitted interior, it is now a working grow space, complete with rainwater capture. Next up, we're tackling what might be our biggest build yet, the pergola.
And don't forget to check the description below for a full list of linked tools and materials we use for this project.
Okay, looks like this was easier than I expected, huh?
Yeah, I reckon so.